Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another show of Heavy Hitters. I'm your host, Michael Grady. Today's topic, man, I'm just going to get straight to the point, man. This is going to be a very controversial topic. I know some of the things that I may talk about on this topic may either ruffle some feathers the wrong way, but at the same time, it's been in the media. It's been talked about amongst blacks, amongst whites. If you really been following this topic, it's kind of disturbing to even know that this is actually what's going on in society right now. And as a matter of fact, going on exactly in one of the biggest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world. And yes, I'm talking about the NFL. I'm talking about the NFL and the fact that some people may feel like, as an African-American, some people may feel like the NFL is basically a modern-day slave trade. And people be like, well, Mike, where you come up with that idea from? If you guys was watching the Netflix special with Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick actually has a segment and it's talking about how, African Americans are portrayed in the NFL draft and at the combines as actual slaves. And if you look at it, it's a very intriguing. I haven't actually sat down and watched the whole segment. I've seen parts of the previews, and to me, it was very interesting because when you think about it, when you think about most things that you see in the NFL, like when it comes down to the masses of the NFL, the people that are actually running the NFL are not even black at all. We have owners that are predominantly white. Let's call it what it is. And the fact that, most of the players are African American or minority descent. So when I was looking at this, when I was looking at the whole illustration with the fact that Colin Kaepernick was painting a picture saying that, when these guys come out of college and they pursue their dreams in the NFL, let's look at some of the things that will make them enticing to another team. But most importantly, make it enticing for an owner to purchase them. And when I saw the segment, I was like, you know what? At the same time, we could take this back to the 1800s to where, African Americans were being sold just because of the structure of their body, the muscle type. They was looking at all types of things, seeing how could they be beneficial to their new owner, which is their slave owner. So when I was looking at I had some photos too that may enhance what I'm talking about. And the fact that it's even more disturbing to even watch that. Like I have a couple of pictures right here. Let me show you guys a couple of pictures right here. Like I'll use this gentleman right here for example. I don't know who this guy is, but you see those two other men, the white guys that are actually measuring his arm length. Like they're actually sizing this person up to where they feel like, this may be a huge asset for a team that's looking for someone of his stature. Now, when I look at that, when I saw that picture, the first thing came to my mind was this illustration right here. This is back in the day. Yes, cotton in the backfields, black men in chains. And of course, you have people that are willing to sell and purchase them only for what they're capable of doing, which is either make their money or worse. Some things that have been transpired for years, even when slavery was going on. This is what we know. This is what we know as African Americans. This is what we are illustrated and seeing on how men are portrayed as property to someone else. They feel like they're going to own them. Now, I'm going to go back again when I say, how did this coexist with how the NFL is? Good thing you asked that, because for one, when the NFL, like I said earlier, most of the NFL owners are white men. So for the fact that if you see something that you really want as an NFL owner, and your product is one of these players that's coming out of college and actually that's going to make your team a successful team, maybe a playoff or Super Bowl caliber team, you're going to want that. You're going to want the things that you're looking for. You're going to want speed. You're going to want muscle. You're going to want strength. You're going to want all these intangibles because that's what you feel like is going to make your team better. But at the same time, we know that it's not only that, it's going to actually put money in your pockets. So for people that want to sit there and see greatness in action, you're going to take full responsibility. You're going to take care. You're going to take care of your possession. Now, when I say that the owners are purchasing these people, like it's almost to the point to where you feel like, you know what, am I really being sold? Yes, you are being sold for the simple fact that if you get a contract, you're obligated to that contract. These slaves back in the day, they didn't have that obligation. They didn't have the luxury to say, no, I don't want to go with you. They didn't have that option, because if they did, they would have been killed. So for people right now that's coming out the combines and just coming out of college, going to the NFL combines, they trying to pursue a dream. But in all actuality, owners, coaches have different means for these people. We can say whatever we want to say about how, oh, they may care about these players. At the end of the day, you're an investment. And just like when an investment is used up and done, what do they do with you? They get rid of you. So with the illustration I put up, even with Colin Kaepernick, like this is some of the illustration that Colin Kaepernick was talking about. I'm sorry I only got the back of his head, but everybody know the afro. Everybody know he wearing black. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that's Colin Kaepernick. But look at the illustration in the back though. Like I'm gonna give you a brief analogy on what this illustration is talking about. The men are coming off the football field after being probed or after being sized up or actually seeing what body structure they are. And once they walk past, now I have the still shot, but once they walk past Colin Kaepernick, these guys are basically looked at as slaves. Like when we look at slaves, we thinking of the fact that, you know, you put a black man on a podium and you have all these slave owners to the side talking about how they would want something like that. They looking at his eyes, they're looking at his muscle structure, they're looking at the fact that, is he beneficial to me? Is he going to be beneficial to me under my realm? And at the same time, you look at it from the standpoint of the NFL draft. Yes, people, that's Colin Kaepernick right now. If you look at the background, what's wrong with that picture in the background? Yes, every athlete that you see there is an African-American man. And like I said, these men are trying to come into a position to where they're trying to be successful after they get out of college. Even if they don't want to go to college and finish a degree, they want to go and be successful in life. But at the same time, you have to think about why you feel like if I feel like I'm going to college, if I feel like I'm going out of college to go pursue my dream in the NFL, like how am I going to be treated, or how am I going to be looked at, or how I'm going to be treated as an equal? Like when someone gives you a contract as a professional athlete, and I can't speak for all athletes when I say this, but when you get a contract, that's the most exciting news you could possibly get because you feel like you made it. That contract is an obligation. Okay, the contract is an obligation, just like anyone that goes in the military. Like myself, I went in the military. I had to, you know, obligate myself for the years that I served because I signed a contract. So I literally had no rights. Slaves didn't have no rights back then. People didn't have any rights to the point to where, like you said, once they got on that podium and once they were sold, that's it. You're property. You have no rights. You have no morals. You have nothing. You're stripped of everything because why? You're a property of someone that actually purchased you. And with the whole situation with Colin Kaepernick, I feel like, you know, the information and the words that he was trying to get out, it really set home to a lot of people. It really set home to a lot of people. And I'm gonna put this up right quick, and I'm gonna just let people marinate on some of the statements that Colin Kaepernick said in reference to the NFL being the modern day slave trade. A scene from the show depicts black actors playing athletes as slaves being bidded on by white owners. I could have swore I just had that picture up right here. You see that picture right there? This actually fits the sentence that I just read. This is all in the documentary that Colin Kaepernick had, you guys. Like, this stuff is like really, nobody can sit there and say he made this stuff up because everybody knows in the school system, everybody knows about slavery. So most of the people know about slavery right now because actually they're trying to take that out of schools, which is so unfortunate because regardless how you look at it, it's bad history, but it's American history. And the fact that American history happened in this country is starting to kind of rear its ugly face again with the same illustration I'm giving you guys right now, with the fact that the NFL freed the NFL slaves. So if and then people want to tell me like, yo, how you going to sit there and talk about something that's been going on for years? It's been going on for years, but it had to take someone of Colin Kaepernick's stature to bring the underlying message out to everybody to get, and it's causing for people to hate his belief system. Like, I don't hate what he did, and for anybody that want to hate Colin Kaepernick for what he did on his stance, the man did it because he's tired of social injustice, he's tired of racial discrimination, he's tired of all this unnecessary bullshit that be going on in this country. But people that hate that want to keep that. People that hate that, I'm gonna say that again. People that hate that want to keep that. Why? Because they don't feel like people of my skin color actually have a choice in life. That's bullshit. I pay my dues, I pay my taxes just like any other person up here that's even watching this show. So for you to not think that I don't have the equal opportunity and the equal rights as a free man as yourself, you can kiss my black ass. So for one, I'm not going to argue with this man. He has every right to voice his opinion on what he believes. This is what I believe when I saw this illustration. It clearly made sense to me that, for one, NFL owners, coaches, they actually look at NFL players of a minority descent as property. If you think I'm lying, like I said, it's simple. Look at a combine. For anybody who don't know what the NFL combine, when you get a chance to get one, watch one, look at how they actually do most of the players. And I don't care if they're doing it with white players. They got to do it with everybody. If you attend the combine, they got to do it to everybody. But like I said to you before, a lot of those athletes are minority athletes. To me, that's not a good look. It's not a good look, especially when you implement how that looks from right now. Even there was a segment on ESPN where they was doing the same thing, and ESPN called backlash behind that shit. It was a bad PR move for you to put black men on a podium and say, "Oh yeah, that's a good boy right there. Oh yeah, I want him." Like he's fucking property. If you're gonna sit there and do that shit, like that's some shit that's the reason why we have racism in this world today. That's why people are so caught up in the dumb shit because they don't want to evolve with the real shit. If you're thinking of the fact that, like back then, we cannot carry over into the new millennium. We just can't. And a lot of people are starting to think that that's what's happening right now. This is a prime example. I got a quote from Colin Kaepernick in reference to how he looked at the people that was, treating these athletes the way they was treating them as people that would do them on a slave trade. Teams poke, prod, and examine you searching for your defect. That means if you have anything, they watching your body. They want to see if you have anything that's going to cause them not to buy you, because once they buy you, they're your investment. Colin Kaepernick said this on the show. Also, you got other people that has issues with Colin Kaepernick talking about this to the point to where they cause rift from within their own self. Like everybody know the show The View, the show with Whoopi Goldberg and I think it was Meghan McCain. I don't know if she's still up there, but anyway, they have a news anchor by the name of Michelle Tafoya. Michelle Tafoya is a reporter for major NFL games. She works on the sidelines, but she's a host on The View. Michelle Tafoya, and I quote this, Michelle Tafoya said, "No one pressures them." Who are you talking about when you say them? Okay, let me correct you on that. Who are you talking about when you say them? And I'm gonna continue the statement. They were not forced to go into the NFL, Tafoya says. And this is an NBC football reporter stating this right here. No one pressured them, which is in all actuality some truth behind that, because like I said earlier, as a black man, you don't have to just excel in sports. You can excel in education. So you're right. Hey, that point right there is dead on. No one pressured them. No one twisted their arm and said, the only thing you're good for is sports. Fellas, anybody, male, female, black, take note on this. If you don't want to be labeled as someone that only knows sports, use your mind and show people that you're better than dribbling a basketball. You're better than catching a football. You're better than throwing a baseball. This is a true statement that she made right there. And I can concur with that. And the fact that she said that, some people said that she was right by saying that no one pressured them to go into professional sports or go into football. I get that, Michelle Tafoya. That's a good point. But on the flip side, though, Michelle Tafoya replied, if they believe that he could win a Super Bowl, and this is all referring to Colin Kaepernick, everybody, he will be on the right team right now. I promise you that. Everybody know damn well that is a bunch. Everybody know damn well that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I'm going to call it what it is, man. Like, for reasons why Colin Kaepernick is not on the team, everybody know why he's not on the team. He's not on the team because, for one, he's been blackballed. This man been blackballed because of the simple fact that he's voicing his opinion on something that he feels like is totally not ethical. Someone feels like he's just a cancer to an environment. Nah, he's not a cancer to an environment. He's trying to fix a major problem that's going overlooked for many years within our society. Colin Kaepernick is not a person that institute hate. Colin Kaepernick is a person that wants to institute love. He wants to embrace different races. He wants to have people with different types of skin color embrace each other. How can you not give this man an opportunity? This man literally, just off his own views, which we live in a country where freedom of speech is supposed to be upheld. So this man literally had the freedom of speech to speak what he felt. And at the same time, now he cannot even support himself. Now, granted, he's getting major endorsements because the way that the NFL blackballed him off his stand, it backfired. Because this man don't got to worry about eating, but he has a large following. But also, too, with Michelle Tafoya, she got some feedback from people that's on her own panel. Sunny Hostin, she's another host on The View. I quote the statement that she made. The majority of the owners of the NFL are white. Did I not say that shit earlier? The majority of the players are black men. Did I not say that shit earlier? So there is that comparison that he makes to slave owners and slaves is not out of bounds. This is all in reference to what Colin Kaepernick was talking about, viewing the eyes through him in black and white. The whole incident for him to just come out there, why would people be upset for the fact that if someone can sit there and say something that is majorly creative and actually has some sense behind it, how in the hell can you be mad with it? Why don't you research and just look and analyze what he's been analyzing his whole time with his stance on social inequality? It's not nothing that someone can make up. This is what we see every damn day. If you look through the eyes of a black man and you look through the eyes of what we see and what the struggle is every day when we're dealing with race and we're dealing with racism within our own country that we fucking built. We built this country. People talking about we came from Africa and all that shit. No. We was taken from there and we was used to build this country up. And what was the whole outcome and what was the whole overtaking of it? It was taken away. It was taken away from us. Once we built it, it was snatched. Oh yeah, this shit really bothers me, man. It really bothers me to hear that people feel like they're entitled just because of a certain stature that they could do what the hell they want. These NFL owners could do what the fuck they want to do and purchase people like they purchasing these players. And like I said to you earlier, when you know good to them, they actually take you out back and take you out. Or they get rid of you, treat you like trash, because I've seen it. I've seen professional athletes do years in, dedicate their time because like I said, they were obligated. But at the same time, when it's time for them to move on or when it's time for them to get something else, they ball you up and they throw you away. Even with slaves, man, slaves were done terrible. Slaves would, like I said, slaves at the time back in the 1800s, 1700s, however the hell you want to go back, treated like straight shit. Never had what they have right now. Like I said, we are in a world right now to where equality is important. Equality should be given to everyone. But for this illustration right here, the whole illustration that he made to the point to where he's saying the NFL, yes, the NFL is a powerhouse. The NFL is completely a powerhouse that is pretty much on a level of untouchable. Yes, the NFL has a lot of people that are influential. Money goes a long way. Roger Goodell is just as bad as a slave owner because he is actually allowing this type of stuff to happen, not only in the NFL, but I'm pretty sure other owners or commissioners or whomever that sit here, even with basketball. I don't even want to touch basketball. That's already a stereotype by itself. We know that. Okay. So for people like Roger Goodell, for people like Adam Silver, I don't know the president of NHL or MLB, but for them to actually sit here and just allow certain things to transpire and don't have any type of moral dignity within themselves, I feel like that's terrible. That's a bad PR move. That's a bad PR look, especially with all the trouble that's going on in the world today. Racism is powerful. Racism has reared its ugly face back in America, and it has reared its ugly face back in society again. So for him to sit here and just think about the fact that this is what we experienced, well, I didn't experience, my ancestors experienced this situation. This is what we're experiencing right now when we come to the modern day NFL lifestyle. Should it be accepted? No, it shouldn't be accepted. Should there be modifications and should there be changes to make this look a little bit more presentable and not too much offensive? Nobody says we want to mess with the product. Nobody said we want to mess with the product at all. But at the same time, man, you got to give everyone they just do. Like I said before, the whole statement with Michelle Tafoya saying that, you know, they didn't have to go in the NFL, NBA, whatever. That's true. Like I said, I give her big ups on that. But for her to just and see, she's looking at it from a white perspective and not looking at it from a black person's perspective. So for me to give her the kudos on the fact that she made a point, it was a valid point. At the same time, you can never, ever relate. If you can relate, you can understand. And if you can understand, then you can have sympathy. You can have sympathy for a lot of people that's really going through the struggle. And I'm not just talking about black folks. I'm talking about all nationalities that are within the minority realm. Shakisha Sentai said it never left. Racism, that is, facts. It's never left. And it won't leave. It won't leave until people start seeing perspectives from a different vision or look at it through the eyes of the person being offended. Until you actually can see the struggles, until you actually can live how does it feel like to be walked around, like when you go into a store, how does it feel to be like followed when you're literally in the store minding your own business, or you're literally in a neighborhood driving your car and you're being followed by a police officer? How would you feel if that was you, though? How would you feel if that was something that you had to experience and deal with on a consistent basis? From a white perspective, you're not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because that's not you. You're not the target yet. Like I see stuff on the TV, right? Even with the trial about the young kid that killed the people in when they was doing the rally. Like everybody's talking about this kid and stuff, talking about he was fake cheering and all that shit. Oh my God, that shit was terrible. I smelled a bunch of bullshit on that one. Yeah, that bullshit level was all the way on 10. But you got people want to bail him out. Colin Kaepernick don't have no support from anybody other than the people that support him and what he believes in. I support you, brother. I support you. I don't give a damn about what everybody else think. I support what you think because you're bringing facts instead of bullshit. Yeah, tell him, Cadwell, this is some bullshit. Yes, it is. Straight bullshit. So let me ask you guys this, though. So we're supposed to live in a world to where we don't supposed to have an opinion. We live in a world to where if we sign on a dotted line, we have no rights. Are we living in a world to where, you know, you don't matter. Once you sign that contract, you don't have no opinion whatsoever. Are we supposed to accept that? I'm not going to accept that. My kids are not going to accept that. Anybody that I'm influencing on this conversation right now tonight, don't accept anything less but your pride. Your pride go a long way. You cannot just give yourself, and at the point, you cannot just give yourself up to someone that don't have your best interest at heart. Like I told you before, these owners don't have anybody's best interest at heart whatsoever. You get hurt, you're no longer good to them. You become a distraction, you're no longer good to them. And this is not a negative distraction. This is a positive distraction. This is enlightening. This is really letting everybody know what's really going on behind this mega powerhouse called the NFL. I love football. Don't get me wrong. I love football. But when someone brings something to this magnitude to my attention, I have to do my own investigation and see if it's facts or fiction. A lot of people want to sit there and say, well, Mike, you being biased because you are an African-American man. Yes, the fuck I am. No shit. Black is all get out. But at the same time, if the shoe was on the other foot, if there was only black owners and all the players were white, would I say something? I sure as hell would. I would say exactly the same damn thing that my white counterparts should be saying about African Americans being treated the way they're being treated, as property. You're not property, you're a human being. Treat these people as human beings and stop treating them as something that you could throw away like it's nothing. People want to label us as statistics, or people want to label us as people that only are beneficial in one category. Sports is not it, people. Of course, we own that shit. All right, we own sports, but we are the breadwinners for every owner that are billionaires. We are the ones that got you there, just like our ancestors built this country. Like I told you, like I said to you guys earlier, our ancestors built this country to where it is right now. We, as minorities, built these NFL, NBA owners to the stature that they are right now, which is a higher stature than what they actually think we are. Some people don't agree with that. Some people sit there and say, well, Mike, you know what? I feel like you're throwing this race card. No, I'm not throwing the race card at all. I'm speaking what is real and what's factual. The fact of the matter is, people are in positions only because the people below got them there. And if you don't think that someone actually put all the stress, all the turmoil on their back just to be successful, like we did some of the things that we had to do because at some particular point in life, we had no choice. It was either kill or be killed. That's not what it's supposed to be right now. That is not something that I want to sit here and say, well, my ancestors went through that shit, so now it should be accepted. My grandmother went through that shit, so it should be accepted. My mom and dad went through that shit, and it's supposed to be accepted. But when they get the mic, no. I'm not going to accept someone that's going to treat me as a second-class citizen only because they feel like they fucking can. You're going to treat me as the same way you would want to be treated, as an equal. You're going to give me dignity. You're going to give me the pride and the self-respect that I rightfully deserve because I fucking earned it. Money don't make you powerful. Money can make you an asset to someone that really needs money. But if you think you can actually use money to influence people's decision making, if you allow that to happen and you taking that money and you actually condone on what people actually think, then you're part of the problem. You can easily refuse that situation, or you can easily walk away from the situation when you know for a fact that it's not morally right. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what I deal with. This is what millions of other people deal with of my same complexion. No, it's not a race card thing, people. It's not. I just told you guys earlier, if it was a situation to where it was black owners and there was only white NFL players or basketball players in the league, I would feel that same way that I would feel right now. And I will hope that someone would come to me and give me an illustration, as Colin Kaepernick did here, and tell me that this is not right at all. It's a bad move, bad look. The intentions are not genuine, but most importantly, it takes us back to where we were almost 400 years ago. And note, this is the history that they don't want to tell our kids black or white, in school today because they don't want to believe that it ever existed. Well, guess what? You're showing it right now. This is the modern day slave trade. The modern day slave trade right here in the flesh. So for people that has these bright ideas by doing these combines or doing these things that show certain things that happen in our negative past in American history, then why don't you just change it? Why can't you change it? And why can't you make it feel like it should be a little bit more accepted than being a nuisance or being borderline, if not damn near insulting? If someone actually saw something like this, I guarantee you this. I mean, they may not, but if someone saw something like this, like I know people that are probably living that, well, not during this era, but it's been people that have stories that they were told when they were slaves, and they actually see this, but maybe to the point that when they got too old. And this is why it's important for people to read and know your damn history. Our people need to read and know our history because we don't. But when you experience some of these things that people talk about, when you hear some of the horror stories that people talk about from their ancestors that been passed down through generation to generation, it'll make you reflect. It'll make you reflect on why do this symbolization of slavery, or why does this symbolization of this man being treated than less than a man, why is this should be accepted in society today? I can't understand what's not important to know where your origin came from. Why is it important to know that this is the history that's been transpiring throughout years in out in American culture? Like I said, racism is always here. Racism has many disguises. People thinking that just because you're wearing a Ku Klux Klan hat, you're racist. No. A Ku Klux Klan could be wearing a three-piece suit. A Ku Klux Klan could be wearing a doctor's outfit. A Ku Klux Klan member could be a judge. Don't have to have a white sheet over their head to be racist. Don't have to have one at all. It's from within. It's from within, and it's something that's learned and taught by people that are continuously just lost in what's really supposed to be accepted in American culture. It's sad. It's one thing that's sad to know that in this world today, this is 2021, y'all. It is sad to know that people cannot voice their opinion on something that they strongly believe. But when they do voice their opinion, they get blackballed. Only because they're speaking facts of the history, only because they see an illustration that was past history that should have stayed in the past, but it's starting to rear its ugly face again in modern day U.S. history. Can't make none of this stuff up, man. This is self-taught. And for people in the NFL that don't think that this is a reality check, this definitely was a reality check for me because I gave it a benefit of a doubt. Like some people even protested the fact that they didn't want to watch football because Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I may even, and like I said, I love football to death, y'all, but I may even go a further step with the people that says that Colin Kaepernick tainted the game of football by doing something that I actually did when I was in the military to pay homage to a fallen soldier. And shout out to all the veterans on Veterans Day. I know it passed, but shout out to the fallen soldiers that, we lost throughout wartime, regardless of what era of war you serve, men and women, black or white. I salute you guys. So I just want to get that out there. But yeah, like that was something that actually changed the whole game in NFL culture. When he did that stance that he did. Some people say, you know what? I'm not going to watch it just because he did that. But some people know that was a bunch of bullshit. A lot of people knew that was some bullshit because of the fact that that was a minority taking a stand against powerful white owners. Now, could he have used a different platform? Sure he could. Sure he could. Did he have to do it after he was contractually obligated to that team? He didn't have to do that. Was it in his contract? We don't know. But do he has rights as an American? Yes. Does he have rights as a human being? Yes. Does he have rights as a black man? Evidently not. But like I said earlier, it backfired because every NFL owner looked at Colin Kaepernick as a cancer. So they never gave him the opportunity to succeed in life. They never gave him the opportunity to even fulfill his dream, and that was a dream of playing football. Michelle Tafoya said that one statement, the only reason why teams are not passing on him because he couldn't get to a Super Bowl. Get the fuck out of here, yo. Are you serious? I've seen NFL quarterbacks that are terrible and are still in the league. None of them couldn't even hold his jockstrap. Better yet, outdo him. Now, granted, he may have had some bad seasons. Granted, who has a perfect season? Everybody takes their lumps and bumps sometimes. But I've seen players right now that are nowhere near the caliber as Colin Kaepernick, but yet can't get on the field. But yet he's labeled as a troublemaker. But yet he took a stance for what he believed in. That brings me up to another quarterback that I will be talking about Monday, but I'm going to talk about him a little bit right now. Aaron Rodgers, y'all. Everybody know the situation with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers told everyone that he was vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers told everybody he was safe. That was a lie. That was a lie. And not to mention, he got a slap on the wrist. The man got fined $14,000. $14,000. I'm pretty sure one of his suits cost $14,000. But Colin Kaepernick can't even get back in the league for speaking what the Constitution say every American has, the freedom of speech. You don't see a problem with that? You don't see the problem that if someone of a different color can sit there and literally lie to everyone and did not even follow protocol with this pandemic rapidly taking out lives left and right. This man literally lied, and yet he's going to be on the field next Sunday. But with Colin Kaepernick taking a stance on social injustice and racial discrimination, he is no longer allowed in the league. He's not allowed in the league because it's a good old boy league. He's not allowed to come back in the league because he stood up for what he believed in. He's not allowed to come back into the league because owners feel like if we take this person on our team, he will be a threat to my damn pockets. They don't want that. They don't want the fact that if I hire this guy, if I brought this guy onto my team, I'm not going to put asses in seats. That's sad, man. That's sad. That's terrible. And that's the type of world we live in today. That's the type of world that my kids will have to experience and go through some of these things that my ancestors went through. Let me get back to some of these statements. This is Sonny Hosted from The View. This is a statement, and I quote, "The reason he is not playing is because other owners have colluded together." Okay, so they colluded together. Everyone, all the good old boys, they colluded together against Colin Kaepernick. Austin began before Tafoya. Now, Michelle Tafoya jumped in to suggest she needed to be careful with such accusations. Why would she need to be careful? Is she going to get treated like Colin Kaepernick too? For her voice and her opinion? For her saying that owners colluded to not have this man back in the NFL? Why would you say that, Michelle Tafoya? There is no owner in the NFL to this day that has the courage to take him back. That's what Sonny Hostin said. Facts, Sonny Hostin. That is straight up facts. Because if you wanted to take a fly on this dude, he would have been on the team right now. People can sit there and say it's a good PR move. Oh, we're looking at him right now. This man still haven't been on the field yet. It's crazy because I feel like some people don't have the common courtesy to even take their whole belief systems and expose them when you know something is wrong. Some people don't have the courage, or as that definition that I have up here right now, don't have the dignity to stand up for what they believe in. Some people don't think that if it doesn't affect me, I shouldn't care. Dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for their own sake and to be treated ethically. That's dignity. Equality. Equality is all about has an equal opportunity to make the most of their lives and their talents. That's equality. It was one thing I was thinking about when I was going over this whole conversation. It was one thing that I thought about. I thought about a dream. A dream is something that a lot of people have. A lot of people have good dreams. A lot of people have bad dreams. But in this particular situation, I made an acronym for the word dream. In this particular situation, deflecting racism equals a tentative mindset. That's what dream means to me. Deflecting racism equals a tentative mindset. That's facts. My dream is to not be able to go somewhere and not be able to speak my opinion, even on this social media network. For me to even talk about this, it's going to be some people, like I said at the beginning of the show, that's not going to like what I said. I never made this a race call. I just made it a human. I made it a human opinion upon myself because, like I told you guys before, as does Colin Kaepernick, he has the right. I feel like I have the right, but it's being handcuffed by the mega powers that be. The mega powers that be in the NFL are the owners and the commissioner. The mega powers on social media is the Mark Zuckerbergs. If I don't have that platform that they have, I'm literally up shit's creek because I have no opinion or I have no say-so. That's not true. If that was the case, I don't have no say-so, then tear the fucking Constitution up because it don't mean shit. That one piece of paper that we cherish the most is not being upheld. It's not being upheld to millions of people that feel like, well, if the Constitution is supposed to be in place and it's supposed to be in place for every American, why the hell can I not get that same justice? Or why can I not get that same equal treatment that's on that piece of paper? Is it because I'm different? Is it because I don't have the right? Or is it the fact that I'm second class? I'm not second class beyond any means. Like I told you guys earlier, equality means everything. Don't look at my talents. Look at me as a human being. Look at how I could be a positive product within society instead of being labeled as a nuisance in society. Think about that for a while before you look at me and judge me just from what you see through your eyes, because I could be doing the same thing to you. Are we going to build off that? Are we going to change the ways that people are supposed to be accepted? We have the opportunity to do that. We have to break that cycle. We have to break that chain that's been causing so much turmoil within this country, and the fact that we're living in a new era. This is not the era that I want to be living in, nor do any of the people that may resemble me wants to be presented that because that was a dark and terrible time in our history. You could change certain things to make it look presentable. But when you just take things for what it's worth and act like it has no remorse or no consequences whatsoever, you're still part of the problem. You want to fix the problem, Fix it. You want to stop being labeled, then stop doing the labeling. You want to help your fellow American, well, then help me as I will help you. This is deep. This is deep. And it's happening right now as we speak. Outside of these walls, I'm pretty sure something is going on that's dealing with race that needs to be addressed, but it's getting no airplay whatsoever. That's the sad thing that we go on in this country day in, day out. Some people live good. Some people live lifestyles of the rich and famous, but some people are just told to accept your place. That's not me. That's not me. That's not millions of people that live in this country, because we know our rightful place. We know where we belong. We know that where we stand together, we actually bond and create something that will overcome any type of adversary that creates hate or discombobulate love, to the point to where if I feel like if I can condone racism, there's another side of me, because you're supposed to have two consciences. You got the bad and you got the good. If I want to condone something bad, I have every opportunity to right the ship and make it better. Make the right call. Don't be a follower, be a leader. But lead by example. Yeah, that's how I feel right now, man. That's tough, man. That's tough. Even right now, knowing what I know right now. Yeah, I just wanted to just talk about this because, like I said, it's very passionate to me. But I just wanted to talk about something else. Today is a very emotional day for me. Today is a very emotional day for me because a year ago, I lost a very important person in my life. And today marks the anniversary. And I wanted to honor her by, doing what I do best. And that's actually give people information to where, the same information that was given to me to make me a better person. I want to give the same information to anyone that's watching this show. I want to give them that same information because we should all love one another. We should not look at anything different. We shouldn't look at no one less than the other. We should all accept who we are. We should all accept the fact that when you come in this world, you come with a purpose in life. Like I said, man, this day is emotional. This day is emotional for me because, yes, that was my creator. That was my heart. That was my inspiration. That was the love of my life. Today marks the anniversary of her death. That was my grandmother, Josephine Grady. Yeah, everything I got started with her. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to give her homage, though. I wanted to pay homage to her because I want to speak on. I'm not doing a segment, my last call. I'm winging this right now. This is truly something that I need to express. And this is truly something that I need to get off my heart right now because I'm feeling it right now. But people know what Mount Rushmore is. I have a Mount Rushmore, and people are going to be surprised when I tell them this, but my Mount Rushmore is different from, a traditional Mount Rushmore. Most people think that men need to be on the Mount Rushmore. No, I'm not gonna put that. I'm not gonna give that title to the men, but I have a Mount Rushmore, and it's three women that are on my Mount Rushmore as people that influenced me, that people made me who I am today. But most importantly, people that gave me every opportunity in the world to see what love is about, to see what compassion is about, and to see that when you have a heart, things are blessed beyond belief when you give the opportunity for someone to cherish everything that they bestowed on you. My Mount Rushmore is, like I said, it's three women in my life. These three women are the most influential people that I actually been around or dealt with throughout my whole 43 years of living. I just showed you one. That's my grandmother. That's my son right there kissing his great grandmother. Same with him. Without her, I wouldn't even be here. I mean, today hurts. Today hurts because she left this world too quick. She left this world too quick. And the fact that whenever I go home, I talk to her still as if she was on this earth. I talk to her as, everything that I go through, relationships, situations, finances, jobs, whatever. I can always go to her and know that she's going to listen to me. Know that she's not going to say, well, you're not doing the right thing. I know she would never do that. Grandma, I love you. I love you. And I know that you still hear me because you've been watching over me. You still talk to me. You still give me inspiration. You still give me guidance. But I truly miss you. That's the first one. The second one, obviously, is my mom, Alberta Creighton. Mom, well, I know, I know you sometimes, I know you ain't able to watch the show, Mom, but I'm going to find a way to get you so you can watch the show so you can see how your son act. But you and Grandma, y'all always looked out for me. Y'all always looked out for me, even when I was out in the streets. You always looked out for me when, I was a hyper kid, crazy. I always like to laugh, joke, but I always kept y'all laughing. Ma, I know what we experienced as kids. It was tough. I know we went through a lot of things when I was little, but you stuck it out. You stuck it out. And I think that's where I get the energy from. Because I feel like, man, give me a second, y'all. That's where I feel like I get the energy from because I feel like without these two women, my mom and my grandmother, they made me who the man I am today. And I'm not taking anything away from my dad, but these are some strong women. Both of them endured a lot of pain and suffering throughout their lives, but they made it. They made me, along with my brother, my sisters, my cousins. They made it for us. Started with my grandmother. My mom created her own seed, her tree, and she is amazing inspiration to me too. Yeah, I see you, Ma. Yeah. But yeah, she's funny, man. My mom is funny. But she's definitely an inspiration to me. And I love you too, Ma. Notice I said three. The third woman that is on my Mount Rushmore, you already know. Yes. Keisha, I know that everything that transpired between us. It was nothing perfect. It was nothing perfect. It was a lot of headaches. It was a lot of turmoil. But at the end of the day, I can honestly tell you, without the exception of my grandmother and my mom, if I ever turned around and I know that they were there, you wasn't that far behind. You came into my life and really showed me what love, compassion, and trustworthy is all about. Yeah, I know I was a handful. I know I was crazy as hell. I know I was tough. I know I was this. I put up that Teflon skin for a reason because of what it was experienced to from prior relationships. But you actually came in and literally made me appreciate who I am, and you appreciated that yourself. You saw all the qualities in myself that I couldn't even see from within my own damn self. That speaks volume of you. It speaks volume of what you stand for. It speaks volume for you as a person. But most importantly, you gave me the platform to see what real people and what real love was all about. Yeah, you on that Mount Rushmore too, Keisha. Definitely on that Mount Rushmore. And for that, there's only 3 women that are influential in my life. Grandmother, my mom, and Keisha. Facts. All of y'all influential in my life. And I love you all the same. So for anyone that's thinking otherwise about who has actually made Mike to the person that he is today, take a look at these 3 people, y'all. Those 3 people are who made me to where I am today. And I thank them. And I just want one person to know. If you're watching this show right now, I just want you to know right now. Everything that we've been through, everything that we've dealt with, whether it's the good or the bad, it was troubling. It was tough. It was something that really could have just took us over the edge and made me forget the fact that if I had something and if I lost something, is there an opportunity that I can get it back? You know who I'm talking to, Keisha. I'm talking to you. The opportunity was there. The opportunity was there for me to be a better person. The opportunity was there for me to put you first. The opportunity was there, and I screwed up. I screwed up because, like I told you before, I was afraid. Well, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore to show you that if you could show me the same compassion that you show me, I should be able to do the same in return. It's not hard. It's not hard for me to do so. I just need for you to allow me to do so. It's not a plea. It's not a game. It's not a ploy to just get pity. It's coming from right here. Coming from right here. So to my mom, I love you. To my grandmother, I love you unconditionally. And to you, Keisha, I love you with all my heart. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for me, man, because I feel like I'm getting emotional, but I meant what I said as far as the topic. It was important that I had to get that message out. I definitely thank everyone for watching. But fellas, if you got a good one, keep them. I wanted to say that right now. If you got a good lady, keep her. You got to be able to hold on to someone who actually wants to hold on to you and don't let you fall off the cliff. A good woman is hard to find. Definitely a good woman is hard to find. That's why if you got one, you cherish them, you appreciate them, you love on them, but most importantly, you hold them tight and don't let them go. Same for my grandmother, same for my mom. They were great women. The men that was in their life knew that they had a great woman. I got a great one too. I love you. So, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm about to go ahead and close out the show right now. Also, too, I would like to actually tell everyone right now, I have a sponsor right now. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my sponsor so everyone can get her and see the merchandise she has. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first and only sponsor, Miss Alicia Bryant. Get on that. If anyone needs the information, I'll clearly put it up on the Heavy Hitters page. So reach out to her, most definitely. She has a lot of products, not just for men, but also, I mean, not just for women, but men as well. Definitely take advantage of the opportunity that she has. She has some stuff that will be beneficial not only to you, but it'll be beneficial to your appearance, your whole being. Take full advantage of it. Alicia Bryant, Mary Kay. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. It was a very interesting show, but like I said, this show was important because, like I said, certain things need to be said, certain things need to be heard, but certain things need to be acknowledged. Clearly, the main objective was being heard, but what needs to be acknowledged is the fact that the last part of my segment is truly what I meant, and that was from the heart to not only those three women that are major influences in my life, but they are what keeps me going. And I thank them and I cherish them. But most importantly, I love them. So until next week, I will see you guys next Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Heavy Hitters. I am your host again, Michael Grady. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend. Be safe.